everyone, welcome back to our YouTube channel, the D&G Sisters. This is Diki, and as you guys who are following us know that Gawa is in Kolkata. So here I am in Kalimpong home making the next video for our channel. So as you must know from the title below, we are interviewing a very special person today from our family, and it's going to be very interesting conversation with her. She is somebody that we completely adore, look up to, and is our lifeline. So without further ado, we'll get into the video and get into the meaty conversation with her. Please join us and stay with us till the end of this video. Alright, so here we are with our guest for today, and it's our dearest mummy. We call her Mama. And Mama, would you like to introduce yourself?
I am Lucky, an ex-air hostess with Air India, and I flew for 17 years.
17 years. From which year, Mama?
From the year 1979 I joined, and left in 1996.
Okay, that's 17 big long years. Okay, Mama, tell us, first of all, how did you come across this job? Was it like, did you hear about it very often, or was it very rare? How did you know that, this kind of job exists?
I heard about the job when I was in school. I read it in a magazine of Femina, and there were two girls who were already air hostesses. One was from my school, Ninze Culture. They were on the cover of the magazine.
Okay.
Ninze was in a bakku and that other girl was in a sari. Then my cousin also joined.
Okay.
I was in college in the third year when I saw the ad for the air hostess, and I decided to apply.
Where was your college?
I was studying in IP college in Delhi.
Okay.
And
the interview was in Delhi?
And I selected Delhi as the center.
Okay. Alright. So, do you remember how you prepared yourself for the interview?
I didn't prepare. It was just natural. I just went over there.
Do you remember what documents you carried, or photographs?
I just had to carry my school living. They needed just class 10.
That time they needed only class 10.
Already in college.
Do you remember what other requirements were there? Like
height, minimum height was 5'2". Okay, but I was already 5'3". So
okay.
I knew that I would get it.
And education qualification was class 10. Actually, not 10. Yours is class 11.
Class 10. But I did my class 11 and my college. But then the requirement was only class 10.
Okay. Okay, because got it. Because Mama is the last batch of ICSE, no? ICSE.
Last batch of ISC.
Is it called ICSE or ISC?
ISC.
Okay, so she's the last batch where the education system was up till class 11, and then after 11 you would go to college. But after her batch, then it used to be up till class 10, and then you do class 11 and 12, and then you have college, right? Yeah. So the requirement by the time she was in college, it said that it's 10 pass. Then do you remember how did you get ready? You remember a little bit of that?
I just remember that I wore a sari.
You wore a sari?
Which I borrowed from a friend.
Okay. How many days was the interview? Is it a one-time thing?
Just once.
One time.
It was like a walk-in interview.
Okay, walk-in.
You just walk.
Now, Mama, tell me. Yeah, let's talk about how she was selected and what was the interview process like.
And there were about 5 people interviewing. There was one from Air India, and then there was one who would watch our psychology part. They would see.
Okay, so a psychologist,
air hostess also.
Senior hostess also. Okay. So good panel was there. Alright.
The first thing they said was, you have studied so well, you've done so much, you're already in college, and why do you want to join Air?
Okay.
In spite of studying so well and doing so well, and you've got first division, you're in I passed out in first division
Okay.
in ISC.
Uh-huh.
And all that. In spite of that, why do you want to join Air India?
Okay, so basically Mama was an all-rounder in school. Like she was very good in sports, very good in studies, plus she was very good in other activities, elocution and all sorts of dramatics, dance, all everything possible, you know. So she was like an all-rounder. We have like a whole cupboard dedicated to her cups and her medals and all of this at home. So they told you why you want to join.
Why do you want to join Air India?
Now what did you say?
I said because I want to travel.
Okay.
Because since geography was my favorite subject.
Okay.
And,
so cute. So hey, then did you have another round? Like what happened the next?
I had that one round, and
but you were saying earlier, other people are called for groups, something like that.
There was a group. Then they said we will have a group discussion after this.
Okay. So group discussion still existed in the past.
Those days, I was selected in the very first round.
Okay, so Mama didn't have any more further rounds.
Other rounds.
So she was selected immediately, and then
in fact I was called beforehand. I was
so
called in January of 1979. I was called.
Okay.
But then I said I don't want to come because I want to finish my college.
Okay, alright. So whenever you finish your college, you wrote to Air India, and Air India
told
you to join.
that I'm ready to come. If you're still if you still have vacancy.
And mind you, those days it's not email. You just type, you write a letter, you post, and you have to receive a letter, you know, through a postman, right? So okay. And then you joined when? July of 1979.
July.
Okay. Mama says that her medicals were done when the date of joining came, and then she was asked to come to Bombay. That's when they started with the medical, and that's when they did everything. They never asked for pre-medicals like the way nowadays we do medicals at our own expense, right? Okay, Mama, and do you remember how long was your training?
And they put you in batches for your training.
Yes, okay.
So when they selected I was in a batch 14, I remember.
Batch 14 of Air India, okay.
Batch 14 of 1979.
Oh, okay.
1979.
So those days they were hiring like crazy, huh? Because you said what?
Air India had acquired 4 new 747 aircrafts.
Okay, so it used to be called the Jumbo back then,
aircraft.
And it was a 747 double-decker aircraft, and I think it was a very big deal for Air India to have those aircrafts back then, and there were 4 of them. Right, so they were hiring massively, and 1979 batch 14 is Mama's batch number. Okay. Then, Mama, what are the things that you remember from training days? Like how
we had to wear sarees even to training.
Training, sari.
We had to wear sarees and go. So
and this sari is your own personal sari?
Your own personal saris.
Okay, so
I borrowed a few
in
from
our family. We don't have.
Ajima 1 or 2, and the rest I bought.
Oh.
4 saris I bought for myself.
Wow.
So once the training starts, of course, you had classroom training, and then you had meal services trainings and everything.
Wet drill.
It was
Wet drill.
Lunchtime we had free lunch.
You had free lunch. Yeah, that's what I wanted to catch on.
Which was free lunch means not free. We had to pay 1 rupee 50 paisa.
Okay, so
subsidized lunch. Other trainings are very, very, very easy, and it was. I used to enjoy my training days, and I used to do very well in my class. In fact, I used to come first almost. Every second test, I used to either come first or second.
Your exams used to be like option tick garne khalke exam? Yes, which even happens these days. Yeah.
Because you have to know your...
But of course, like, it's not easy. The options are very close to each other. Yeah. So, safety practicals, how was it?
We had one drill where we used to go to this swimming pool and sit on the raft, and what is that? Swimming pool
so you used to do the ditching drill there.
Ditching drill there. Okay. And then in the mock-up we used to have the slides and all, and we used to do it there inside the building.
Okay, so Air India had their real setup, which these days, like now, we are privileged to have it, right, in our companies. But back then, in 1979, like This is
to
like
have
40
this.
years ago maybe. I remember Mama telling me long time ago that even
This is
other
true.
airlines used to come and borrow,
We used
you
to
know,
come
the
and
premises
visit
to use
just to train
yeah, for the training.
for the train.
How was your service
So
experience?
we used to have these veterans or whatever we used to call it.
Veteran, yeah,
Veterans,
we call it veteran, vet drill these days as well.
Veteran food would be brought from the catering,
Ah.
from the chef. They would bring it.
Chef.
They would bring it from the chef, the food which would serve the aircraft. The same food was brought to our training center and given to us, and we had to do the veteran in the aircraft.
Which happens even now these days in full service airline. They will bring the same food which is served in the aircraft with the same packaging, same you know, menu, everything exactly the way it is. You know, cutlery, everything is the same.
The training was extremely good because it was called the mock-up.
Yes, Mama, it's
go
called
there.
mock-up. Even today it's called mock-up.
And
Okay,
we
so
used to
in
go
the
inside
mock-up,
and then
they
you're
have...
inside an aircraft only.
Yeah, you...
Then we were taken to the tarmac.
Yeah,
to see
you are...
the aircraft.
Yeah, Mama, you're jumping now. Wait, so basically we need to tell our viewers what we're talking, because you and me are understanding each other, but then we need to tell the non-cabin crew or aspiring cabin crew, if there are any, you know, how things are like. So even back then they had the mock-up, which is an aircraft like structure, and everything is exactly like the way it is inside the aircraft, and it's, you know, it is inside an office premises or something. And then the trainees are serving food to each other, placing, so that they know everything about the space, you know, how the space of the aircraft is exactly, because it's not economical to take the entire training batch to airport, occupy an functioning aircraft to do all of this. So they do major of their trainings in classroom inside a mock-up, and then later at the end of, you know, the whole training process, then they are taken to the real aircraft which is in the airport, and then they are asked to take, yeah, just like a walk around. So very nice. Back then in Air India they had mock-ups, and they had the kind of training that actually I've received now, like 40 years ago later, is exactly what she received back then. And it's really sad that a lot of people speak badly about Air India these days, or in my generation people don't really respect Air India that much, but then those people don't know the glory that it had. What we learn today, they had already mastered it many years ago, you know, many half a decade ago. They were already running it in that manner, and in a lot more sophisticated way than, because right now there's so much cost cutting. Everything was luxurious, you know. Maybe the money was not managed properly. That's the reason why they had the downfall now. But that's how companies learn and pick from, you know, the mistakes, and that's how, yeah, they learn from their mistakes, and that's how they become more successful, like in the same field, right? So it's okay. But yeah, I just wanted to say that Air India was a very sophisticated and very elite.
Not in my time, but earlier than me, I remember that whole upstairs was called the Maharaja Lounge. Okay.
Upstairs, what upstairs?
Upstairs in a Jumbo called the Maharaja Lounge. We never had the extended seats around. They did it later on. Earlier it was only sofas and all, and just for passengers to just entertain
So
themselves.
we are talking about 380 lounge these days. I mean, they had the second floor of the 747 was exclusively just a lounge. They had no seats there. That is like massive, you know.
And that air hostess had to wear a ghagra choli just to serve over there.
Really?
Really? Ghagra choli was for the air hostess H1.
Okay.
H1 was always wearing a ghagra choli.
H1
H1 that
is the position of the cabin crew. Okay, Mama, that was very interesting, your training and your selection process. Now, the last question of this session is going to be, how was roster like? Your first ever roster, how was it?
First, this thing was, we had to do training flights.
Yes.
3 training flights.
Where did you go for your training flights?
My first training flight was to Rome.
Training flight to Rome.
Can you imagine? And with a Czech hostess.
Okay. So tell me, when you went on that first flight to Rome, when you were getting ready and when you were going for the flight, and then how did you feel?
Good. I felt very good. I was very happy about it. First was my uniform. I was very happy with my uniform. Very happy wearing my uniform, which was a sari.
Yes.
In the beginning, I
Mama is giving it a thought because she was one of those selected to wear churidar as well. So
and once I took off, and I was very busy inside the aircraft. Now what do I do? What do I do next? What do I do next? What do I do? So always holding a tray in my hand and thinking that I might have to go and clear, I might have to do this. And that girl was very, very checker was not at all bothered. She said, Lucky, do what you want, it's okay. I'll see to it, you don't worry. And she would be behind me, telling me what to do, and then she'll be doing half the work.
Okay, so she was
a
very
chill checker.
When you reach Rome, matlab bahar desh, foreign, when you reached, how did you feel for the first time?
This check took me shopping. I'll take you, okay? Very nice place. I'll take you in the village. We used to stay in a village. I went shopping and I bought a lot of woolens because it was winter time.
Winter time, okay. And allowance you get when you reach there, no? In cash,
as soon as you reach there, you get these lires.
Lires.
Roman, Italian lires. In Italy, you get lires.
It was a different currency, okay? Because in my time it's euro. What do you?
Lires.
Okay.
We used to get lires.
I didn't know this, that Italy had their own...
Italy had their own currency which is called lire. It was in
Okay.
thousands.
See, I keep hearing new things from Mama
Thousands.
even today.
Thousands. Everything was thousand. Thousand lire was very little. It was 1,000 lire was hardly. Hardly how many
Mama
dollars?
doesn't fail to surprise me even right now. So we will close this interview with a fun fact that Italy had their own currency in the 80s, 70s, 80s, and it was called lires, which I got to know now. Okay, so that was all
Italy was
from
lire.
Mama.
What is that? German was marks.
Okay. Okay. So this
And
conversation, I'm going to have it off the camera with Mama now because it's going to be a very long conversation and we don't want to make it very lengthy for you guys. Okay, then that's all from this time. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm going to have a tough time editing this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and give us a lot of love on this video by commenting and by sharing and subscribing to our channel. We are the DNG sisters. Until next time, ciao. Since we ended with Italy, so ciao.